What's up, guys? We got a little bit of news yesterday. I did get a couple of links from some guys. M&M Cup Series sent me a link to a Bristol clip that they put up on Twitter. Uh, and also, I believe Landon 822. I hope I got that right. If I didn't, I apologize. But he sent me a link to the latest news concerning 704. And apparently Motorsport, oh my god, it's not coming to me right away, but uh, somebody made an investment with 704. I'm not sure if it's like a partnership, but when they use the word investment, that means they came in and invested money into 704. I guess that makes them partners in some way. Also, 704 has NASCAR license all the way to 2029. So they got it for like 10 years, which is a long time. I'm actually surprised that they would get the license for that long. Um, it's not a bad idea. I mean, 704 has shown at this point that they really are NASCAR fans. Um, and so far, all they've done is NASCAR games. I wouldn't be shocked if down the line they try to expand and do other things, but as of now, up to this point, they are basically a NASCAR only developer, which is good because it's all of their focus is on NASCAR games. But like I said, I wouldn't expect that to be forever like that. Um, 704 is showing a lot of promise, and I like that they're going to stick around. A lot of people want bigger developers to step in, or some people even want EA and stuff like that. That's all for the birds. A bigger developer doesn't always mean they're going to deliver something better. They have more resources, but how they choose to use those resources is unpredictable. And if they're not passionate about a project or a game, it's going to show. A lot of these big developers are just looking to cash in on stuff. So I like the small developer idea and 704. And even though they're a small developer, the people that are within that company, I'm talking about guys like Ed Martin, they have a lineage of NASCAR, work that they've been involved with. Ed Martin was in charge of the Thunder series all the way back when he was with EA, and the games we love like 2004 Thunder and stuff like that. He was the guy behind that. So it's good that 704 is in this for the long haul. So they have the license. This Motorsports. I don't know if I could call it a merger or anything, but there's an investment. I'm not really 100% sure what that means. I looked into it a little bit. There's I guess they run this esports thing, and I don't know a lot about it, so I'm not gonna lie to you guys. From what I can tell, it's basically an online sports tournament type of thing or entity. And I guess they're going to try to bring that to the online multiplayer somehow, where you can compete, and it's actually it's part of this tournament. I don't know what that really leads to, or what it means, or what that's going to actually bring in terms of content to the online multiplayer. I really don't know, so I can't speak too much on it. But I think it's good that somebody wants to come in and invest. It shows, that things are moving in a positive step. Now, things can change, especially with small developers. Sometimes you get situations where they're not making the profit to sustain themselves. Sometimes they lose developers that leave to work for other companies. They can't hold on to their personnel, stuff like that. This is a natural part of the business world. If you can't sustain your business model and it's not profitable, then whatever plans you might have had, sometimes those plans have to change. So I don't know if this was part of their plan all along, but it sounds positive. I haven't heard anything negative. I haven't heard anything about downsizing or anything like that. Those are signs of things not going well. And I haven't heard anything like that. So it seems like, things are going according to plan, which is good. So hopefully 704 can make enough of a profit where the business continues to grow and they're able to do the things they want to do. You can plan for a lot of things, but sometimes things change, and that depends on the market. They don't have a big market. It's not like Call of Duty or some of these other games that have a built-in fan base that you're going to sell X amount of copies of games that even if you don't break the bank, you're still going to make enough profit that you don't have to worry about downsizing and stuff like that. Smaller companies have to gamble more. They have to really work on the product, which I think is one of the reasons why it's a good thing, because it's in 704's best interest to make sure they give us the best possible products so that they sell as many copies as possible, within this market, which is not a big market. So that's really all I know about this motorsports not merger, but investment. They didn't disclose any financials about it. We don't know how much is invested, how much they're, now linked with 704, but it is what it is. If anybody knows anything more about esports, feel free to let me know what's going on. I don't really know a lot about that stuff, so unfortunately, I can't really give you more of an opinion on it. Moving on to the latest clip that was on Twitter. Thanks to M&M Cup Series who dropped the link. Thank you. I appreciate it. Checked it out. I like what I saw. It's basically a couple of laps around Bristol. But here's what really stands out about it. Visually, it kind of looks like, NASCAR Heat 2. There's nothing really that stands out as for like, oh wow, this looks different visually. So it looks like this is pretty much what I expect. It's not going to look night and day different. But what I do notice and what is obvious is the sound. The first thing right off the bat is the spotter. It does sound a lot more involved, which is what I want. I want the spotter to be busier, and I want him to be accurate. When he tells you, up high, down low, clear, I want it to be more accurate. And like I said, I want it to be more busy because that's how it is in real life. These spotters are very busy. That radio is just not silent like for long periods of time. So the spotter, at least from the few clips we've gotten from footage that have been released, it's not a lot there, but it does sound like they did work on it. So it definitely it has been tinkered with, so to speak. I don't know how far it goes. Hopefully we're surprised in a pleasant way. And then the other part is the engine sound. Of course, it's improved. It's noticeably better, but it's not where it needs to be. So if I was to rate it right now, I would put it to you like this. First of all, we've never had a NASCAR game that sounds good. That's one thing every NASCAR game, even the Thunder Series or Dirt to Daytona, these games sound horrible. For some reason, no one has ever really been able to get decent sound from in these games. I don't know if, I guess it's an oversight. It's something that these developers never really put a lot of thought into, which is really mind-boggling because when it comes to NASCAR, sound is extremely important. And but finally, there seems to be a real concerted effort by 704 to have done something about it. and it is noticeable. So I would say, when you lump in all past NASCAR games, I would put it on a scale of 1 to 10. Sound has always been, for me, I would say a 2 out of 10, which is horrendous. I've never even found the sound to be passable. It's always something I've had to deal with, and it's like, whatever. But 2 out of 10, I would say, just lump every other game in there. So I would say this game, I would put it maybe a 7 out of 10. Sit between maybe a 6.5 out of 10. All right, if I really want to get down to it, a 6.5 out of 10. Which, compared to what it's always been, 2 out of 10, it is a noticeably big improvement, right? But 6.5 out of 10 is still somewhat lacking. So I am happy they worked on it, and I do appreciate it. And I just want 704 to have that frame of mind of it's always a work in progress. So next year, I want them to continue to elevate it, because the goal is to get it to sound as authentic as possible. And the more authentic it sounds, the deeper the immersion is going to be. So this is a big improvement, and it is much appreciated, and I can't wait to play the game and really see what it's like. A lot of times you can't really tell the sound off of gameplay videos on YouTube and Twitter and stuff like that. So my hope is that they're still kind of tinkering with it, and that maybe when you actually play it in person, it sounds even better. So there's some hope there. But I'm not disappointed. Okay, it's a really good solid step forward. So I like what I see. So that's basically what you get from the video. It's just a couple of laps around Bristol, and I'm hoping that this week we get something about the online multiplayer. Maybe they talk more about it. Maybe with this announcement with the motorsports and this investment, maybe they release more information on that. And it sounds like it's tied in to the multiplayer, online multiplayer, this esports thing. Maybe they could talk about it a little more, with a little more detail. And then I'm planning to do my prediction video sometime next week, maybe Monday. Even if I don't get real detail about the online multiplayer, my feeling is I don't think there's anything they're going to surprise us with in terms of real content about the online multiplayer. I think the online is going to be pretty much like it's been last year, and the only thing they really mentioned was the esports tournament thing. Not much else, unless they came out and said, hey, you're going to have a full lobby chat with like we have in other games. That would be a real big improvement, and it's definitely something that can be done because it's done in other games. You play Grand Theft Auto, everybody in the lobby can talk to each other. So you got over 30 people in these lobbies, and everyone can be on at the same time. It's not as confusing as you would think. So, I don't see much else that they could possibly come out with, unless they're really looking to surprise us at the last minute. But judging by their marketing and stuff, it's jumbled. So I don't think anything big's coming. So I think it's safe to do a prediction video. And then if they do announce something after I do that video, I'll talk about that separately. And if it really makes an impact on the prediction video, then I'll sort of update what I had to say. But I think I know pretty much, I would say I have a 90% feel for this game. I pretty much know what it's going to be. It's not going to surprise people that I do feel it's going to be an improvement over last year. So it's not a question of whether it's improved, but how much improved. And that's what I'm really going to focus on with the prediction video. And then we'll see what, how much of that prediction turns out to be true when the game finally does come out. Now, speaking of that, I don't do reviews right away. A lot of guys, they do reviews really quick. I guess they're able to really cram in a lot of time on the game. I can't afford to do it. I have a very hectic work schedule. I'd love to be able to like have time just to devote to the game and be able to do a review right away, but I can't do that. You know, I'm a small YouTuber. I don't, like I said, this isn't something I make money doing. So I'm looking at maybe 2 weeks. You know, after I've had the game in my hands and really put time into it. Because the thing I find is that sometimes you play a game and in the first couple of days you feel a certain way about the game and you think you know what it is, and then you spend more time with it and then you realize it's something completely different, or your opinion sort of changes, or you find things out about the game sometimes you just don't know right away. You know, when I look at this game, it's a progression based career mode, right? So you're not going to know. How do you know right away how deep the career mode is? I don't understand how people can find that out so quickly. Now, some people get early copies, you know, but that doesn't happen for guys like me. You know, I'm nobody. You know, I'm talking about guys with a lot of followers who are well known. Then maybe 704, who knows? Maybe they'll give them a copy a week early and let them spend some time with the game. You know, I'm not somebody that would ever get a chance like that. Plus, like I said, this isn't something I do for a living. I don't get paid for this. So why would they give someone like me, you know, an early copy? It doesn't make sense for them, and I get it. But like I basically explaining, that's why it's going to take at least 2 weeks, because I want to really not just go through the career mode, spend time with it, and see how deep does it go, how balanced is it. Sometimes a game doesn't show the lack of depth or balance until you really spend time with it. You know, just think about last year, right? When I first played the game and I was doing the hot seats, it's actually fun because you're driving substandard equipment and you're struggling to achieve whatever the goal is for the hot seat. And to me, that's when the game was at its best. Once you reach a point where you're in a top level car, really driving good equipment, the challenge was completely gone. The game was easy to dominate, and that killed it. You know, so that's not something I found out right away. So I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about, and then I'll do a review. Obviously, I would say 99% of you guys are going to buy the game. Don't wait for me. You know, if you think this game is for you, if you think there's something there for you, buy the game. You know, don't wait for people to review the game before you buy it if you really feel like this is something you're interested in. So I don't, you know, my review is just going to be, hey, one guy's opinion on what this product is, but certainly, you know, it's going to be at least 2 weeks. So that's the way it is. You know, I don't want to rush something. Plus, I have a hectic work schedule, so I got to fit in time when I can. And I'm sure there's a lot of really good YouTubers out there who will put out reviews quickly and be thorough with it, and you know, well edited stuff. You'll see clips of the game and stuff. You know, you're not gonna get that from me. Basically, it's just me talking and you listening if you're interested. So that's my plan. I'm in about a week. I'll do the prediction video, and then when the game comes out, I'll spend as much time as I can on it. And I'm thinking 2 weeks. So, what do you guys think of this Bristol clip that was released? What do you think of the sound? Do you know something that you could maybe fill me in on as far as this esports thing, or this motorsports company that is making a financial investment in 704? I'm sure that a lot of you guys know more than I do. I don't really know much about it, and I'm not going to bullshit you about it. So I look forward to your comments, and let me know what you think. I'll talk again when they release some information, hopefully this week, and hopefully something about the online. I don't expect much, but every little bit counts. So I look forward to your comments. I'll see you guys around.